Ex-wife, new BF, and my little girl. Ex-wife left me 6 months ago and took our 2-year-old daughter with her while I was at work. Claimed she wasn't happy and was done. We fought a lot over a couple months about this and about time custody of our daughter. At the time I was seeing my daughter about every other day, which was hard but alright with me. 6 months later she's got a new boyfriend in her and my daughter's life, and it has gotten harder and harder to see my daughter. I had not seen my daughter in about a week and woke up this morning to messages from her new partner telling me she's mine now and I'm a deadbeat father and how he reads all my messages and calls blah blah. This upset me in a way like never before, considering this man who feels this way about me is now constantly around my child. I was so angry, but I did not entertain the harassment. I simply told my ex-wife over the phone it was uncalled for and asked her when I could pick up my daughter again. There is no court case or agreements. But I do pay and document child support every week. Info edit: I am a 26M and my ex is a 23F. Redditors reactions, story 2 after. Redditor 1, time to get a lawyer and bring this to court. Redditor 2, lawyer time, you need to get something about custody in writing before she makes this way worse. Redditor follow up, and she will. The second she doesn't like something he says or does, his daughter will be used as a weapon against him. Lived it myself. Redditor 3, take those messages to a lawyer. Informal arrangements can work when there's respect and there's clearly none here. Op answer, I have never used a lawyer or even been to court. In fact, the only reason I did not in the beginning is because I was told I will lose against a mother, and it will cost a lot of money I don't have. Story 2, 4 years later and mostly healed. I have been on a long journey with my divorce and I feel like I can share a few things that I found out. 1. It sucks. It's the worst. I have never felt worse in my life, I don't expect I ever will feel worse. 2. Part of the reason you feel so terrible is that your body is going through withdrawals. Close relationships help produce dopamine and oxytocin. This is partially why you stayed in a broken marriage. You were an addict. Just realizing this helped me a lot to know I wasn't crazy, that this was so hard. 3. Rewrite your story so that you're the hero of your own life. Move it from my partner should have treated me better to I was unhappy, and it was really hard, but I made the change and I am proud of myself. Look up grievance story for more on this. 4. Get a counselor, priest, group or friend that you can talk to repeatedly about the same thing. Talk to everyone who will listen, but be okay if they get a little tired of hearing it, they are only human. 5. Mediate instead of getting lawyers. Keep your own damn money. 6. Your ex did terrible things to you and this was actually shocking to me. No one cares. The court doesn't care, your friends and family won't care, no one cares. Care about yourself. That's it. 7. You will feel better. The pain won't last forever. 8. Take a shower and go to work. Keep your routine. It will keep you sane. 9. If you share kids, don't ever say anything bad about your ex in front of them. They can't help but love them. It will only make them dislike you. 10. Finally, when you're healed yourself, help others, because it will help you stay grounded, and the world needs helpers. Update, names you call your ex. Been divorced a while. Just gotten divorced. I want to know the name you call your ex. Why? Because they are hilarious and they make me feel better. My name's F-Face Dumbass. The kid's dad just pretending the whole thing didn't happen. He who must not be named. Herpes because there are flare-ups and there's nothing you can do about it. Anyways, I need a laugh and I'll bet you do too. P.S. We won't tell them what you call them. Update: what thing did you lose in the divorce that you wish you had back? My divorce was 8 years ago, the best thing that ever happened. But at the time I remember feeling a terrible sense of loss. I got mad at my ex because he took one of the laundry baskets. A laundry basket. But I remember feeling like I had just the right amount of baskets. I have 3 kids, so I need a lot of baskets, and they all matched, and he was taking one, lol. But it really was just more things he was taking from me. I could not handle any more loss. But seriously, one of the things that we used to do was play board games. We divvied up the games, and one of the ones he took was Galaxy Trucker, one of my favorites. I didn't really want to cough up the money to get a copy online because they're over $50. Another thing my ex and I don't have in common: I'm frugal, but today I found a copy for $10 from a neighbor. And oh boy, am I over the moon. So funny how after 8 years the loss of such a small thing can bring up all these emotions. Anyhow, it's got me thinking that other people must also have funny things they lost. Humans are weird, aren't we? Update: almost done with co-parenting. I've been co-parenting since 2014, so about 8 years, and all 8 years have been hell. My ex just makes everything hard. He just argues, and is unpleasant about everything. I have tried really hard to not bring any of this out where the kids can see it, but they are older now and they know how hard it is. Having a conversation with your adult child where they say, "Yeah, Dad's an asshole," is very interesting. They were talking about something they were trying to do with him. I hadn't brought him up. But he really is just an asshole. OMG, why? Why do people get off on being so horrible? Anyhow, today he's really being unreasonable, but then I realized that I only have to deal with co-parenting for another 19 months. So at least there's a light at the end of this tunnel. I can't wait until the day when this is all over and I just have to see him, like when the kids get married or something. Managing parenting with a person who just likes to make everything hard is so draining. Redditor's reactions, story 3 after. Redditor 1, lucky. Depending on when my divorce is finalized, January is the earliest possible. I'll have roughly 17 years. I didn't file, but I wish I never had to talk to him again at this point. Redditor 2, it is a relief when you hit that finish line. I mean, I still sometimes find myself having to bring something to my ex-wife's attention even post-18, but it's not common. One tip I give all co-parenters: I found it usually went better the less we communicated. I'd catch myself wanting to compare notes about something and it's just not necessary most of the time. And I don't think it's good parenting to present a unified front. You don't have to say Dad is an asshole, but you can say, you'll have to ask your dad about why you can't go to the XYZ. I thought it was a good idea. Imho, behavior like that is not undermining or parental alienation. A divorced parent who doesn't want to do something should be able to explain the situation honestly to a kid. They shouldn't be asking the other parent to back them up. Redditor 3, I have a little more than 2 years and my husband has 5. I have a countdown to the end of his. My ex is relatively harmless. He can he and ours. My adult son has commented many times, but he is malicious. Story 3, girlfriend of 8 years cheats on me for 3 years, feeling lost. I am 26, started dating my ex F26 8 years ago when we were still in 11th grade. She was sweet and naive at the time, but I really loved her. We had fights like all couples. Sometimes we make up and sometimes we take breaks, but kept so that we don't date or sleep with anyone else. 3 years ago, just before lockdown, we had a fight where she wanted to focus on work and broke up with me. I was mad but later told I understood and would give her some space and would keep in touch. Oddly enough, she would come to my place to sleep around but nothing more. That time I did not mind as I loved, but later that year we got back together. 2 years ago I had to leave to another state altogether for a better job for a year, but we did not end our relationship. It carried on for 6 months till where I got into fight about how she feels distance. I know long distance is difficult but tried my best, but she hardly do anything. She was so furious that she broke up with me and blocked me in all my social media. I was ducking depressed. For the next 6 months worked my ass off in my job, tried to date but nothing serious. 6 months later I finally came back to my hometown and bought a house where my family can stay. I wanted to invite her cause she still meant a lot to me, so I called one last time just to check if she would pick up. She did. Turns out her dad just recently died. I felt sad and guilty that I wasn't there for her, so I was being supportive, and slowly but surely I reconnect her with and we started up our relationship once again, and this was nearly 4 months ago. Fast forward to October 15th, I called her up. I asked, hey, can you come to place for the day or two? I wanted to spend my birthday with you. That's October 16th. She wholeheartedly agreed, and I wanted to propose to her right at midnight just on my birthday, so was preparing everything, but at the last minute she cancelled, saying that her uncles are after long time and she need to finish her work. I was disappointed, but I didn't care cause she was gonna be engaged to me. Now on October 16th, my birthday, she came over, bought a small cake and we cut the cake, just the two of us. I was happy. I was planning to propose that night just as planned, but a day later. We had our cake and had fun, bedroom fun, but she got a call from her mother which was weird, but I did not pay not mind, but she had to go, so I did not stop her from leaving and let her. Big disappointment. So was planning on what to do next, until I get a call a few hours later saying let's break up, I am in a relationship. I was shocked. I did not know what was happening. I thought something happened with her, plus her was voice not clear, so I tried to ask what happened, but by then she cut me off and ended the call and blocked me. I was angry but curious to why she's acting like this. I thought her uncle came to know about us. I wanted to talk to him anyway, ask him and her family for her hand in marriage, so I thought this would be better way to meet them and explain everything. Later that night I get a call from an unknown number and it was my GF. She said, if a guy's call please, hey, we did not have S-time cuz her family believes S-time after marriage. I said not comfortable but okay. I get a call from the same number and a guy asked me why did she come to my birthday after we broke up. I was confused. I thought maybe she lied that we broke up. For her family. I went along with her lie and said yes, but that means I can't invite her over to my birthday party. Here where my mind starts blanking out. The guy says would be comfortable if your GF of 3 years go out to her ex-birthday party, and he ranted or started threatening me, saying if you come near my girl he would mess my life up and some other bullshit. I was in total shock. My life just shattered. I could talk word about how I did not even know she had someone, even though I asked if she's seeing some multiple times before getting back together. I was disgusted beyond belief. So disgusted that I ended the call saying I am not gonna say her again and tell her no to contact me, and immediately blocked in everything, and deleted her number for good. It's been 4 days and I still feel disgusted. Oddly I don't feel anything for her, nothing all, not angry, sad, nothing, just this disgust and get anxious all the time. I haven't slept in 4 days, lost my appetite and take a break from work cause I feel this way. I am really lost and no idea what to do. Any advice would be grateful. Redditor's reactions, story 4 after. Redditor 1, I would send that guy a message and tell him to get his girl to stop bothering him, tell him you're sick of being used for S-time by her. Op answer, I did not think of that. I was so disgusted and shocked I just deleted all their numbers and blocked them. And if I remember correctly, in my days he did say he would still date her even after she cheated, so that's his life. Redditor 2, out her. She cheated on you with him, then him with you. Out her. You were shocked, and this guy doesn't understand how horrible she is. You were with her for 8 years. Almost half of that she spent with someone else. You both deserve better, and her family is it too. Redditor 3, your GF cannot be trusted, nor can you believe anything she tells you. Simply, ghost her and never look back. Op answer, I am gonna do that. But now I anxious and scared of others girls too. Story 4, what are some new hobbies you have picked up after a divorce to help you move on? My wife of 12 years recently left me, essentially out of the blue, and I am trying to do anything I can to keep from spiraling into the darkness and depression that are now constantly lurking. I know the first answer is exercise, but I have always been extremely disciplined and consistent with my fitness and nutrition routine, and I already do yoga almost daily. I am fairly introverted and recently moved to another state, so I don't have a ton of friends. My daily routine is pretty much work, workout, eat, try to sleep, with very little variance. What I am really looking for is a new hobby I can get into that will help occupy my mind when my thoughts and emotions start to turn in the wrong direction. What are some things you have picked up since your divorce that have had a positive impact on your mental state, and help you move on? Also, just wanted to say that I appreciate everyone on this sub. This is probably the most difficult thing I have ever had to face, and hearing everyone else's stories, struggles, and especially success, makes me feel less alone and makes my difficulties slightly more bearable. So thank you. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, surprisingly, I got into audiobooks, lawn work, and bread making. I have found that going into my yard with my earbuds and just walking around and picking weeds is really relaxing. It feels less like a chore and more like something that breaks the monotony of sitting around inside my house. Bread making is so much fun. I give a lot of it away, but it is fun to make nonetheless. I even use it as an opportunity to involve my kids in an activity and let them choose which type to make. Redditor follow-up, I love this. The yard work is one that I've incorporated myself. Pulling weeds, which was a punishment when my brother and I were kids, is incredibly cathartic now. Redditor 2, I'm an amateur artist, wife of 13 years, filed divorce paperwork 2 months ago. I haven't been able to enjoy any of my hobbies or art making since. I hope you can find something fulfilling. I know I'll be back to creating again eventually, but right now it feels like my blood isn't reaching all my extremities or filling my brain properly. Grief can be so paralyzing. Redditor follow-up, I feel you. I was only married for 3 but dated for 7. The grief can be so painful too. It's okay to feel all the feelings, but remember to take care of yourself. Redditor 3, jogging, although that one was also impacted by the pandemic and gyms closing. Podcasts, meditation and Duolingo are other hobbies, daily activities that I've picked up. I also began building Legos again as well. Mostly with my daughters, but I make sure I buy myself at least one big set a year now. Started with the treehouse, and then I picked some other creator expert sets.